With Crown Jewel less than a week away, I think it is now the perfect time to do some predictions. As always in these predictions videos, we go over every match that will be on this card of WWE. I give my thoughts on the card, and I predict every match and who I think will win those matches that are on the actual card. But as always, you guys can debate my predictions, or you guys can just leave your predictions, or whatever you have to talk about down in the comments below. And as always, before we get anywhere in any video, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload, and go follow the socials. That includes my Instagram account and my X account. The link to those will be in the description of this video. But as always, I do hope you guys do enjoy, and let's get you guys right on into today's predictions. Alright, so to start it off, we do have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane. Now, on paper, just hearing the combatants in this match, your mind, like mine, probably went directly to saying that, of course, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are going to win here. It just makes sense. They are two of the most dominant women in WWE in modern day currently, and it just only makes sense with if you combining them together, they just kind of have to win. You know, I thought the exact same thing, and like I said, I'm pretty sure mostly everybody has thought the same thing, just like I have. But no, I really don't think that is going to happen here. It does make sense, but it doesn't from a storyline perspective. It makes sense, like considering just star power and statistics, but thinking storyline, I think the Kabuki Warriors do have to win here. Now that sucks to say, because I really would like Rhea Ripley and Io Sky to win. I just don't think that is really what can happen here. It just can't. And I'll tell you why. So we have this whole storyline here. Kabuki Warriors obviously turned on Io Sky. Rhea's there to help Io Sky basically. Obviously Rhea pretty much hates Asuka, and you know they got a whole feud going on just because of betrayal. That's kind of like how this whole feud has built on, and this feud has really only starting to get sort of like anywhere. You know, we just had our major push in the storyline in the sense that we have finally seen the Kabuki Warriors turn on Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. So now that we've come to that, and like I think we need to have the Kabuki Warriors win to keep that like stamina and keep that momentum going. I feel like if you have them lose here, there's like, you know, really what was the point of all that? I think we need to have this storyline drag out to make it something that goes on for maybe another month or so, if not longer, and have the Kabuki Warriors win this one, man. And now I'm saying, I don't say have them win clean. I think you need to have them win in a dirty way. I think we need to see some mist from Asuka or anybody in some sort of way, and somehow it screws over Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, and then that's when we see the Kabuki Warriors do pick up the win. I think that's how the match would honestly need to go here. I don't think it should end in a clean victory. Obviously end in a victory, don't end in a countout or a disqualification, but end with some shenanigans and have the Kabuki Warriors inevitably win. Because I feel like if you don't, it's like, what, you know, how can we really run this match back and have people intrigued? I feel like that's kind of the thing. I feel like they're already kind of struggling to have people intrigued in this match. I mean, that could just be me, but I know I really don't care for this match. It's kind of just one of those matches on this card that I'm just like, you know, it is what it is. I really could care less because I just haven't been a big fan of the storyline. But man, either way, man, I just think Kabuki Warriors just need to, I think they just need to win here. There's just no other way they can go. And like I said, my final thoughts here, if the Kabuki Warriors don't win, really, what was the point of the whole storyline? That's really my last thoughts here. Alright, next up we do have John Cena versus AJ Styles, and man, this will be a great match. I already know it will. These two have put on banger matches in the past, and I really don't see any other way of this match going than it just being a banger right here at Crown Jewel. We have not had any build to this match. It's literally the only reason we got this match is because we the fans pretty much created it, you know. We are the reason that this match got on this card at all, and how it even came back, you know. We're the reason that it was manufactured. That is pretty much how we got to this match. So seeing as that we really don't have a storyline, it's kind of hard to really predict who's going to win here. So I really have to go just strictly you know, I just got to throw a prediction out there, and I'm gonna have to say John Cena. Now, man, I freaking love AJ Styles. He's like I've mentioned this a few times already on the channel that he's one of those guys that really got me into wrestling. So I mean, I would suck to see him lose. But John Cena in his retirement retirement tour, I'm going to just have to stick with that motive that since he's in his retirement tour, I think he needs to win. So I'm going to have to stick with that motive. If we had a storyline, I would be able to predict, I would be able to make a better prediction probably, but I really can't because there just was no storyline. We just have not gotten anything, which is unfortunate. I would have liked to see a storyline, but due to the number of dates that John Cena has left, you really can't throw in much time for him to do that there. And you don't want him to lose. You don't want him to lose any dates because you need those dates. They're important. I mean, he's got like what 4 dates left. After this one, it's probably gonna be like what 3. So yeah, you need to use his dates wisely. So I understand completely, but it would have been nice to have just an overall storyline because we obviously, like I mentioned, we did not get that at all with this feud, which is like I said, it's unfortunate. But either way, man. Just because we didn't have a storyline does not mean this match isn't going to be a freaking banger. The WWE is really relying on just us, the fans, to really just enjoy this match and relying on us, or just relying on just like past stuff that has happened between these guys, like past feuds, because obviously these two have feuded before. But yeah, I just think I'm gonna have to say John Cena under the, like I said, under the motive of, since it's his retirement tour, I just think he has to win. But I will say, for my final thoughts, man, I don't really care who wins this. I just want to see a banger match. If John Cena wins, cool. If AJ Styles wins, cool. I really don't care who wins, as long as they have a clean fight and we see a banger of a freaking match. That's my final thoughts. But as far as a prediction, I will say John Cena here. Alright, and now we jump into Stephanie Vauquer versus Tiffany Stratton for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship, and I feel like this is a bit of an obvious one as to who should win this match. Now, maybe it's not, maybe that's just me, but I really think Tiffany Stratton has to win here. And that's strictly due to the fact that she's over 200 plus days as champion, and she's still going strong, and clearly the WWE sees something in her, and I feel like this needs to be kind of like this sense of a final payoff for this Tiffany Stratton title reign. So I think she really does need to win here. I think it only makes sense. Like I said, I feel like this needs to be the kind of like the canon event. It needs to be that major finalization in Tiffany Stratton's title reign, and thus winning the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Now, as far as Stephanie Vauquer, would it be nice to see her win? Absolutely. Would it boost her to a whole nother freaking level? Abso-freaking-lutely. But does she really need it right now? No, really not. I don't think she needs that. I think Tiffany Stratton needs it more than her, just considering it between the two. So, I mean, as far, the reason why I think that, though, is, I mean, let's just think, Stephanie is only 2 weeks, like about, 3-4 weeks into her title reign, if that. So just strictly due to that, I don't think it's really the right time for her to win a belt like the Crown Jewel Championship. And just either way, this is going to be her first. This is going to be her first match as the champion. I'm pretty sure. This will be her first match as the champion. But just overall, I just don't think Stephanie needs this, man. It just would not make sense. And you can't just have a girl like Tiffany Stratton. You can't just have a superstar like her and just have her dominate for the past year for almost the past year in WWE, and then have somebody like Stephanie Vauquer. Now, I don't say somebody like Stephanie Vauquer to completely knock Stephanie. No, because Stephanie is a great in-ring star, and both her and Tiffany are very great in the ring. But I'm just saying, considering Stephanie, like I said, she hasn't done much with this title yet, with her title that she currently holds. I just don't think somebody like her should win over somebody like Tiffany Stratton in the WWE currently. And that's really the only way. That's really where I stand here on this match. So really, inevitably, I do have Tiffany Stratton winning here. It only makes sense, and I feel like if they go Stephanie, it might be a little bit disappointing, and it really wouldn't make sense, because really, what do you do after Stephanie wins the title? I just don't think she needs it, man. I think this, like I mentioned in the beginning, I think this needs to be the canon event for Tiffany Stratton, and thus winning the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. So I am inevitably going to say Tiffany Stratton here. Alright, and now the last match that we do currently know about on the card, it is going to be Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship, and I think this is yet another obvious one in my opinion. The reason being, okay, we'll think about Seth Rollins. He's the Vision. He claims to be the Vision. He wants to bring the WWE to a whole new level. He wants to pave the way he wants to pave the way for WWE over the next, multi-plus years, that's his role currently. And think of the Crown Jewel Championship. championship, that's kind of that's like the big championship, you know, that's the major championship. I know WWE hasn't done a good job at portraying it that way, but that's really what it is here. You know, you got two big champions colliding, top people in WWE currently, you have them collide, and whoever wins this belt is, you know, they're the future. That's the guy who you want to be. That is the top guy, and that is the top superstar in WWE. That's how this title works. And, you know, if seeing as that being the case, having a guy like Seth Rollins who claims to be the Vision, I think he needs to win this title to ultimately solidify that. I think that is the only way that they need to go with this match, is Seth Rollins winning. Now we'll talk about Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, he won this title last year. He main evented WrestleMania last year as well. That's when he beat Roman Reigns. He won the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row. He main evented this year's WrestleMania too. He's had so many opportunities, and like I said, that one that should stick out is that he won the Crown Jewel Championship last year. But yeah, he's had so many opportunities over the past few years. So I really think we need to cut back a little bit in the sense of not having him win this Crown Jewel Championship. Now, I'm not saying completely bury Cody Rhodes. Obviously, he's your freaking champion. He still needs to be that guy. But I think that he just needs to be, they just need to cut back a little bit on the opportunities that they give him, you know? Like, keep him champion, fine, but just don't give him this one. It just would not make sense. Like, you cannot have a guy just going around calling himself the Vision and then inevitably freaking lose this match. It really doesn't make sense, and if that's the way it goes, I'm going to be really freaking disappointed, and I'm really going to just be like, okay, we need to, if that's what we're going to do, we need to break this whole Vision faction. Then that's what needs to happen. And honestly, if Seth Rollins does lose here, honestly, man, I don't really see a future for this Vision faction, you know? So it really needs to go in the way of Seth Rollins winning this match. It really only makes sense, and I mean, I just don't think there's any other way, man. Alright, everybody, well, you've now made it to the end of the video. As always, I do hope you guys did enjoy, and as always, be sure to leave me your thoughts on this Crown Jewel match card, or your predictions, or just, like I said, debating my predictions down in the comments below. I will read them, so feel free to just drop any of your thoughts down there in the comments below. But as always, before we get out of here, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Go follow the socials. That includes my Instagram account, my X account. The links to those will be in the description of this video. Do all that, helps me out a ton, and I will catch y'all boys in the next one. Peace.